high of 24. Light freezing rain, light snow tomorrow night and Saturday. From the
Good morning and welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. It's really great to have you along this morning. Senator Mike Rounds coming up later on the program. He'll be here at about 8 o'clock. So let's get underway. And there we go.
The Doctor of Discernment is on the air.
I love the Greg Belfrage Show.
I've been listening to you for years, Greg. Thanks for all you do and keeping us informed.
You sound a little taller on radio.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I don't believe in the no-win scenario.
This is the Greg Belfrage.
Good morning, my friend. The marketplace of ideas is open. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. Thursday, December 12th. It's great to have you along this morning. Well, the big story is that Christopher Wray stepping down as the director of the FBI. Wray said recently, this is during a town hall yesterday, he announced his plans to resign next month. He said, after weeks of careful thought, I've decided the right thing for the Bureau is for me to serve until the end of the current administration in January and then step down. He said, my goal is to keep the focus on our mission, the indispensable work you're doing on behalf of the American people every day. In my view, this is the best way to avoid dragging the Bureau deeper into the fray while reinforcing that's refreshing. That's versus sending the FBI into Donald Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago. And oh yeah. So now he doesn't want to drag the Bureau any deeper into the fray while reinforcing the values and principles that are so important to how we do our work, is what Wray said. So he is 7 years into his 10-year term. And he made the announcement, and Donald Trump reacting to that on Truth Social. And I want to share Donald Trump's comments. He said, the resignation of Wray is a great day for America, as it will end the weaponization of what has become known as the United States Department of Injustice. I just don't know what happened to him. We will now restore the rule of law for all Americans. Under the leadership of Christopher Wray, the FBI illegally raided my home without cause, worked diligently on illegally impeaching and indicting me, and has done everything else to interfere with the success and future of America. They've used their vast powers to threaten and destroy many innocent Americans, some of which will never be able to recover from what has been done to them. And then Trump talked about Kash Patel, and he said Kash Patel is the most qualified nominee to lead the FBI in the agency's history, and is committed to to help ensure that law and order and justice will be brought back to our country again and soon. As everyone knows, I have great respect for the rank and file of the FBI, and they have great respect for me. They want to see these changes every bit as much as I do. But more importantly, the American people are demanding a strong but fair system of justice. We want our FBI back, and that will now happen. I look forward to Kash Patel's confirmation so that the process of making the FBI great again can begin, Trump says. So this is Donald Trump reacting to the resignation of Christopher Wray yesterday. And it's exciting to see this happen. Christopher Wray, I think the writing was on the wall. He knew what was coming. I'm not surprised. I thought we might see this happen. And, that he would step down, knowing that his firing would be imminent. Once Trump took power, it was clear that Donald Trump was going to fire him. Trump clearly wants Kash Patel in there, out there naming Kash Patel. And the Washington Examiner's got a piece this morning, good riddance to Wray. And this is an editorial at the Washington Examiner, they say Wray has been a disassembler since he took over the Bureau in 2017. He came into office promising transparency, candor, competence, I always stumble with this word, taking politics out of it, depolitization. I think it's the word I'm searching for. And systemic reform. He has produced none of it. Instead, acting as an excuse maker, as if as if his job is to be the FBI's corner-cutting defense attorney. As this newspaper and its columnists have detailed repeatedly, Wray has shown that neither his word nor his judgment can be trusted. And that's what Donald Trump was saying. Donald Trump, in his True Social post, I just don't know what happened to him, Trump says of Christopher Wray. And I think, we see some people that just get mired in that swamp, and they, rather than fight it, they embrace it. And that's what we saw, I think. I think we saw Christopher Wray embrace the swamp rather than fighting the swamp. I don't know if he felt overwhelmed. I don't know if he felt like he was one guy and that was, I don't know what was happening there. But at least he had the good sense to say that he will resign at the end of Joe Biden's term. And that's really clearing the way now for Kash Patel. The Senator Mike Rounds is going to be on the program this morning. He will join us coming up this morning just after 8 o'clock. And I would have to say that Senator Rounds was one of the first things that had crossed my mind when I heard about Wray's resignation or an announcement that he will resign. So he's not done it yet, but he announced that he will. Because Senator Rounds recently, just a week ago, had expressed his support for Christopher Wray. And this was right after Donald Trump had said he would nominate Kash Patel. And then I heard on America in the Morning this morning, prior to this show, very brief cut from Senator Mike Rounds saying he wasn't surprised by this. But he was, in an interview that he did recently with ABC's News This Week, he said that when he had met with Wray behind closed doors, I've had no objections to the way that he handled himself. So I don't have any complaints about the way he's done his job right now. But we'll be talking to Senator Rounds about this because Senator Rounds saying, and I heard it again on America in the Morning today, there was a very brief clip from Senator Rounds saying he was not surprised. And well, I wasn't either. I mean, it would be hard to be surprised. Donald Trump is out there saying he wants Kash Patel, and he's singing Kash Patel's praises, and no thank you to Christopher Wray for a job well done. I mean, Donald Trump, and until really now, saying, I don't know what happened to Christopher Wray. I think many of us are kind of have that feeling, So we'll visit with Senator Mike Rounds about that, as well as a number of other things coming up this morning. Also, while we're talking about Donald Trump has invited the president of China, Xi Jinping, to attend his inauguration next month. And in fact, Carolyn Levitt just made the announcement on Fox and Friends this morning. So there were reports out earlier. CBS News reported this yesterday, according to sources. And so now it's been confirmed that Donald Trump will be inviting the president of China. I wish I had Levitt's comments because, as she touched on it, that the Trump wanting to have a dialogue not only with America's allies, but America's enemies. And China is one of America's enemies. And this is what Donald Trump is trying to do. Very, very interesting. Also, Donald Trump is going to be Time Magazine's Person of the Year for a second time. And Trump had once said they would never do that again, where he would never be named Person of the Year again, but they are. So they will name Trump as this year's choice today. This has gotten out in advance. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does. Somebody leaks what's going on. So Time Magazine today will name Trump I just should say Time. I dropped the magazine. Time will name Trump Person of the Year for the second time. That's pretty hard to deny, whether you love Trump or don't. I mean, pretty hard to deny that Donald Trump is not the Person of the Year. Speaking of Donald Trump, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, that Meta has donated $1 million to Donald Trump's inaugural committee, according to the Wall Street Journal. So the promise of the paycheck came before Zuckerberg met with Trump in November at Mar-a-Lago. So $1 million. And according to the Wall Street Journal, Zuckerberg also provided a demonstration on the company's latest invention, Ray-Ban smart glasses. And he gave them to Trump. He gave a pair to Donald Trump. So now we watch Facebook and Meta trying to cozy up to Donald Trump. There are a lot of people right now who are trying to cozy up to Donald Trump. I don't know what you take of what you draw from that, but it's pretty incredible. Suddenly now, like they were always on the Trump train. Okay. Also this morning, the talk of these drones is big news. The Pentagon saying yesterday, no, there's no evidence that these drones are from, Iran or a foreign entity or, one of America's enemies. Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew said that the drones were being launched from an Iranian mothership, he said, that was stationed then off the U.S. East Coast. So Van Drew said on X, what we've uncovered is alarming. Drones flying in from the direction of the ocean, possibly linked to a missing Iranian mothership. So the Pentagon then immediately reacts to that. They say, no, there's no truth to that. There's no Iranian ship off the coast. There's no so-called mothership launching drones, they said. It's clear that there are drones. I mean, there are a number of them. And this has just become a bigger story as the week has gone on. TheHill.com has a story this morning. And they list 5 things you should know about the drone sightings. They said they're mounting reports of sightings. So the drones were first spotted last month, and the number then of sightings has grown. So you got New Jersey officials who are concerned about it. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy this week said he is taking unidentified drone flights in his state deadly seriously. You may have seen the footage from him. He said these are apparently, as I understand it, very sophisticated. The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark. And, we're obviously most concerned about sensitive targets and sensitive critical infrastructure. We've got military assets. We've got utility assets. We've got the president-elect's, one of his homes here. This is something we're taking deadly seriously, he said. Also, a state senator called for a limited state of emergency. I mentioned that yesterday because that story was actually trending. Called for a limited state of emergency due to the drone sightings. A military research center has denied being the source of the drones or being behind them. And this is a U.S. then military research center. And then they say, finally, New Jersey is not the only state with drone sightings. There have been drone sightings within the last few days in Staten Island. So what is going on with the drones and where are those coming from? A lot of folks want to know. It's become very quickly a pretty serious security concern, I think, of a lot of people. Also, big news this morning. President Joe Biden has commuted jail sentences for nearly 1,500 people, granted 39 pardons. And this is the largest single-day grant of clemency. So some of these, and the White House announced this earlier this morning. So this is fairly new. Sentences were commuted for inmates placed on home confinement during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as others. So again, 1,500 jail sentences, pardons for 39 others. Well, he's commuting the jail sentences and then granting the pardons for 39 others today. The White House said the president has issued more sentence commutations at this point in his presidency than any of his recent predecessors at the same point in their first terms, he said. So this is these 1,500 people were released from prison, placed on home confinement during COVID, the coronavirus pandemic. And then he pardoned 39 Americans convicted of nonviolent crimes. Who the 39, I have not seen yet who the 39 are. I expect we'll learn more. Since those were just announced this morning, I expect we'll learn more as the day goes on. Also, we've got the suspect in the killing of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, could be returned to New York on a governor's warrant. This is a story from the Associated Press. The process could happen quickly or take more than a month. So New York Governor Kathy Hochul's office had not yet asked Pennsylvania for the warrant after the murder charges were filed, but she could, and it might mean then that this process would not be delayed, which you know that Luigi Mangione is trying to delay this process. He's got nothing to look forward to but prison. So he's trying to delay this process, I think, as long as he can. There's just a growing amount of evidence already. And I think as time goes on, I believe there will be even more. So what is a governor's warrant? It's a warrant signed by the governor of a state where a fugitive flees after a crime. The governor in that state acts upon an official request from the governor of the state where the crime occurred. So in other words, you know that Josh Shapiro would grant this. So what would need to happen is New York Governor Kathy Hochul would have to request it. So if Kathy Hochul requests it, Shapiro, based on Shapiro's comments, I think would be very likely to immediately grant that. So we may not see a long, drawn out, but then again, I could very well be wrong. Kathy Hochul has surprised me more than once. Also, there's a story this morning. Luigi Mangione charged with murder, then donations started pouring in. Yeah, just absolutely absurd. I mean, that's just crazy town. There's no other way to describe that. It's just absolutely crazy what we've seen, the reaction. And then, as you know, as I had shared some comments recently by the mayor, Sioux Falls Mayor Paul Tenhaken, recently saying he doesn't want to see the legislature getting into culture war issues. A lot of pushback on this. And we're going to have some audio for you coming up today from Bethany Soy, as well as Steve Haugard, reacting to what the mayor had said. Tom Rooney collected some audio for us, and I'm going to share that for you as well this morning. So we'll take a look at that, dive into that a little deeper. And that's a look at the big stories this morning here on Kello. Thanks for starting your day with the Greg Belfrage Show. 627. Mostly cloudy and 3. Not much of a wind chill. Feels like 4 below. You're listening, or excuse me, this hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. Brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell. Offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
Weeknights 5 to 8. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is brought to you by Tires. See in-store details about how to get rebates from major tire manufacturers. 2 Sioux Falls locations to serve you.
Bring charm from the outdoors into your home with Renewal by Anderson picture and combination windows. Optimizing a beautiful view and lighten the bedroom, kitchen, or living room from ABC Seamless of Sioux Falls. Call 605-646-2667 today.
Let's ABC Seamless.
Creating a holiday memory to last a lifetime is the Diamond Room specialty. You'll find unmatched customer service and an array of luxury jewelry for any budget. Don't wait until the last minute. Visit the Diamond Room by Spectre. There is no comparison.
What is Agility Plus? It's the new Medicare supplement Plan G coverage from Avera Health Plans that gives you more.
More benefits at a lower cost.
More comprehensive coverage like physicals plus heart, vascular, and hearing screenings.
That's the Avera Health Plan's new Medicare supplement Agility Plus Plan G. Contact your local agent or request a quote online. AveraHealthPlans.com/Medicare. Network restrictions apply with select plans. A Plan G policy may not cover all of your medical expenses. Neither Avera Health Plans nor its agents are connected with Medicare or state or federal government.
It's that holiday time of year. Give the gift of hearing to you or a loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today.
Excuse me.
Has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices. Just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
Join over 500.
Man, I get chills every time Fox News is showing that CEO being gunned down.
Hurry, don't
just get chills every time I see it.
Live now through December 15th.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS. Call Civic Tax Relief for free information now.
All right.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
Just call 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
6:30, mostly cloudy and 3. You're listening to the Greg Belfrage Show on Kello. Joe Bowman is in the Kello.com News Center. Coming up, a former Sioux Falls area sports radio personality, Jeff Thurn, will spend nearly 4 years in prison. Joe will have details. Also, incoming lawmakers preparing for what's expected to be a frugal season in Pierre. Well, Joe will have more for you coming up here in just a few moments. You're listening to the Greg Belfrage Show on Kello.
China's President Xi Jinping to his inauguration next month. He'd be the first leader of another country to attend that ceremony.
This is an example of President Trump creating an open dialogue with leaders of countries that are not just our allies, but our adversaries and our competitors too.
Trump spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt on Fox and Friends. Meta, Facebook and Instagram's parent company, donates $1 million to President-elect Trump's inaugural fund.
It's Meta CEO Martin Zuckerberg's latest step to bolster his once rocky relationship with the president-elect. With Republicans set to take control of the White House and both houses of Congress, and calling for new regulation of tech, some executives like Zuckerberg are adopting a new posture towards the president-elect.
Fox's Carmen Roberts. President Biden ends early the federal sentences of 1,500 people on home confinement. America's listening to Fox News.
News brought to you by Sioux Falls Implant and Sedation Dentistry. They fix your teeth while you sleep.
Kello News Time, 6:31. I'm Joe Bowman in the Kello.com News Center. Former Sioux Falls area sports radio personality Jeff Turn will spend nearly 4 years in prison. He was sentenced for charges in connection to running a fraudulent ticket reselling scheme. Turn has been sentenced to serve 46 months in prison in order to pay over $5 million in restitution. The Department of Justice says that's the amount of money he took from victims to use for his own personal benefit. Turn is the host of the sports radio show Overtime with Jeff Turn. He left ESPN Radio in February of last year. The start of the 2025 South Dakota legislative session is just over a month away. Incoming lawmakers, such as new state Senator Paul Miskimmins of Mitchell, are preparing for what's expected to be a frugal season.
It's a challenging time financially for the state of South Dakota, with our revenues down around 5.5% for sales tax to this point, over 11% reduction in the lottery sales receipts.
That, coupled with Governor Kristi Noem's proposed $72 million in spending cuts.
We're going to be challenged in the appropriations room this coming year to balance the budget and pay all the bills for the people of South Dakota.
Miskimmins is closely following the lower than expected proposal of a 1.25% increase in funding for K-12 education. Apple is now integrating ChatGPT into its devices. OpenAI's popular AI chatbot will be available for the Siri voice assistant and the new writing tools feature on Apple products with iOS 18.2. Now, when users ask Siri a complex question, they can allow it to use ChatGPT to find the answer. And in sports yesterday, South Dakota State men's basketball lost to Nevada 77-63, but SDSU's women's basketball rolled past Dakota Wesleyan with a 76-48 win. And tonight, the Augustana hockey team is in Alaska, starting a 2-game series against Anchorage. From the Kello.com News Center, I'm Joe Bowman.
The news never stops. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Cold day today, high temperature 14 degrees with a light east wind, some pockets of flurries and light snow. Low tonight at 5 above, and then increasing clouds tomorrow with a high of 24, southeast wind 15 to 25. Pockets of snow Friday night into Saturday could blend with some sleet and freezing rain. We'll keep an eye on that. From the Storm Center at Kettleland TV, I'm meteorologist Brian Carstens.
If it matters to you, you'll hear it on Kello. All day, every day. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
This week, I'm warning you about holiday scams. Today, fake holiday e-cards that are really just loaded with malware. I'm Kim Commando for SimpliSafe. Visit simplysafekim.com to save 50% on a new system. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. How nice. A holiday card in your email. You click the link to see what you think is a sweet message, but instead, you're just opening the door to a virus or even a keylogger, software that secretly tracks every keystroke you type. That means they can steal your passwords, banking info, or even your identity. And here's something else to think about. If you have a jealous ex, they may use a fake e-card as a keylogger to spy on you. This way, they can see everything that you do, your email, social media, even your private messages. So never click on links in e-cards unless you're absolutely certain of who the sender is. And be sure to keep your computer secure with strong antivirus software that will block these keyloggers and other malware. 600,000 people start their day with my free newsletter. You should too. Sign up at getkim.com. Amid holiday prep and gifts arriving on doorsteps, keeping your home and family safe has never been more crucial. Why? Because FBI data shows that the holidays see a sharp rise in burglaries and theft. And right now, you can save 50% on a new SimpliSafe system. Unlike traditional security systems that only kick in after someone is already inside your home, with SimpliSafe Active Guard outdoor protection, monitoring agents can prevent crime before it starts. Seeing and speaking to suspicious individuals in real time and requesting 911 dispatch before they even reach your door. With no long-term contracts and professional monitoring plans starting around $1 a day, it's no wonder SimpliSafe was named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News and World Report for 5 years running. Head to simplysafekim.com to save 50% on your new system with a select professional monitoring plan. That's simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
The Kim Commando Show, live Saturday mornings at 9. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is brought to you by Tires. Your Give You More tire and automotive store. Financing programs available. 2 Sioux Falls locations to serve you.
From the greatest to the D's, we're celebrating your generation at Royal River Casino. Join us for some generational winning and receive free play. Mondays, rewards members that are ages 45 and older are eligible. And Tuesdays, ages 21 to 44 are in the hot seat as you play to earn points. And swipe your card to reveal your prize. Play the decades, where every day feels like your birthday. See website for complete details. Royal River Casino, must be 21.
Gear up for your ice fishing season with the Shields Ice Fishing Sale now through December 15th. Take advantage of great deals like $850 off the Garmin EchoMap Live Scope Bundle, $1,100 off the Humminbird Ice Helix 9 Mega Live Bundle, 20% off all Shields Outfitters rods, reels, and combos, a free extra battery with purchase of any Ion auger, and discover so many more deals in-store and online. Reel in the savings this winter. Now,
You know, I've been sharing Washington Crossing story with you for a long time, and there's a reason for that. It's a wonderful place, wonderful people, and it allows people, you know, as they need additional help. You know, if they're a community very much designed with the you in mind, and they have there's attention, you know, whether you want to make sure you maintain an active lifestyle, or you just want a very peaceful setting, which it is at Washington Crossing. But there's support that's available when you need it as well. And what Washington Crossing does is make it very, very easy to live life your way. They've got the chef at Washington Crossing, so you may decide that you would like to have, lunch each day made by the chef at Washington Crossing and get together with friends. And a lot of people do. Kind of a fun time to be at Washington Crossing during mealtime. So they've got a number of units that have been opening this month. And if you would like to learn more, give them a call, 605-271-9273. Schedule a personal tour, go take a look, meet the folks there. I think you'll be impressed. That's 605-271-9273. Discover why so many call Washington Crossing home. Washington Crossing, life made simple.
Winter in South Dakota is one big question mark.
What's it gonna be like today?
How bad are the roads?
Will I be able to wrestle my kid into those snow pants?
Get most of the answers you want with up-to-the-minute forecasts and the latest road conditions on Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
639, mostly cloudy, and 3. Feels like 4 below this morning. This hour of the Greg Belfrage Show is brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
What's trending now?
Add them on Facebook.
Let the tweeting begin. The hashtag does that. News and views from Belf's News Gallery.
Well, FBI Director Christopher Wray announced yesterday he is resigning from the FBI. So he's ending his term about 3 years early after Donald Trump, I think, made it very, very clear that he intended to replace Christopher Wray. So, and it was Trump who had nominated Christopher Wray back in 2017. And he said his last day will be in January when President Joe Biden leaves office. And he says, This is the best way to avoid dragging the Bureau deeper into the fray while reinforcing the values and principles that are so important to how we do our work. He said it should go without saying, but I'll say it anyway. This is not easy for me. I love this place. I love our mission. I love our people. But my focus is and always has been on us and doing what's right for the FBI, he said. So Kash Patel said, I look forward to a smooth transition. I will be ready to serve the American people on day one. Based on a lot of what I'm hearing about Kash Patel is, his, and especially now with the resignation or the announcement of it, that he plans to resign, that Kash Patel should have an easy time getting Senate confirmation, giving Donald Trump then. I think it's really important that Donald Trump get the people that he wants, especially in some of these, the director of the FBI, the Secretary of Defense. I think especially these high-profile positions. Also, the New York Police Commissioner saying that police have matched a 3D printed gun recovered from Luigi Mangione to shell casings that were found in New York. This is outside of the Hilton, where Brian Thompson was gunned down. They said, first we got the gun in question back from Pennsylvania. It's now at the NYPD crime lab. We were able to match that gun to the 3 shell casings that we found in Midtown at the scene of the homicide. They also have Luigi's fingerprints on a snack bar wrapper and a water bottle, she said. We were also able at our crime lab to match his fingerprints on this, she says. So Luigi Mangione, and I appreciate, his attorney, his defense attorney is saying, well, I haven't seen any proof. I don't know. I kind of, there seems that his fingerprints were there in New York City. How does he explain that? We know he was there. Also, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is taking these drone flights in his state deadly seriously, he said. And he said, the minute you get eyes on them, they go dark. And we're obviously most concerned about sensitive targets and sensitive critical infrastructure. We've got military assets. We've got utility assets. We've got the president-elect's, one of his homes here. That's the Bedminster golf course where Trump has a home. This is something we're taking deadly seriously, he said. So Murphy said he convened a briefing featuring Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary of Homeland Security, as well as other important figures in the Department of Homeland Security, as well as New Jersey government, members of New Jersey congressional delegation to talk about this. And Murphy said, we're actively monitoring the situation and in close coordination with federal and law enforcement partners on this. And he said there's no known threat to the public at this time. He said this earlier this week. This has been a growing story throughout the week. Also, Pete Hegseth, the ProPublica apparently was looking into whether actually Pete Hegseth had been accepted at West Point. He did not go to West Point, but he was accepted. And so they were apparently looking into the claim, was he really accepted? And so Hegseth, getting out in front of it, posts the acceptance letter on social media. And then this brought a response, really a pithy kind of response from ProPublica, is like, this is how journalism works. We are, we get these allegations. Well, but the question is, who are the allegations coming from? Where did that come from? I mean, that's the real story. Not about Pete Hegseth and whether or not he actually, it's who leaked that. That's where the story's at. Also, the Franklin fire in Malibu now growing to nearly 4,000 acres. There's a shelter-in-place order at Pepperdine University that's in effect. So the fire is past Pepperdine, but continues to burn in Malibu. And it's about 7% contained. So thousands of households remain under evacuation orders, and you've got thousands of people now who are evacuating, both celebrities and residents then who are fleeing the areas that fire continues. Senator John Fetterman has just joined Truth Social. He joined on Tuesday. And John Fetterman of Pennsylvania used his first post to call for Donald Trump to be pardoned in his New York hush money case. He said, this was his first post on Truth Social. He said the Trump hush money and Hunter Biden cases were both bullcrap, he says, and pardons are appropriate. Weaponizing the judiciary for blatant partisan gain diminishes the collective faith in our institutions and sows further divisions. So he made some similar comments when he was on The View last week. He compared legal actions against Trump as well as Hunter Biden, and he said both of those were politically motivated and warranted the pardons. Also, Senate Democrats failed yesterday. They wanted to confirm a Democrat member of the National Labor Relations Board. They weren't able to do it because Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kristen Sinema both opposed the nomination. And so it thwarted the hopes of Democrats then to lock in a majority at the federal agency for the first 2 years of Donald Trump's term. So Kristen Sinema had not been, in session and voting, and she made an effort for this one, along with Senator Joe Manchin, who has expressed, his disappointment, his disgust with the Democrats in particular. Also trending this morning, Donald Trump being named as Time Magazine's Person of the Year. And to celebrate the unveiling of the cover, Trump will ring the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange this morning, according to Politico. Also, Elon Musk. Have you wondered how much Elon Musk is worth? His net worth is now over $400 billion. Wow. So a sale of, I think, an insider share sale of SpaceX boosted his net worth by $50 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. $439.2 billion. In late 2022, Musk's net worth had plunged by more than $200 billion. But now it's what you're seeing is being heavily boosted by Donald Trump winning re-election. And Elon Musk supported Donald Trump, and how times have changed now for Elon Musk. Also, there were a bunch of social media outages. So if you use Facebook, Instagram, Threads apps, these are all Meta products. Facebook, Instagram, and Threads were all down. And this was happening for a number of people, showing error messages when you tried to load them. So there were reports yesterday across Blue Sky, X, Reddit, show that many people seeing the same thing. On Facebook, it simply said, we're working on getting this fixed as soon as we can. So Down Detector was showing big and sudden spikes for Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram. So you had a lot of people who were affected. Now you've got users complaining about it. Also trending this morning, the amazing Kreskin, George Kresge Jr., has died at the age of 89. So Kreskin's friend and former road manager told the Associated Press that he had died on Tuesday at his home in New Jersey, which is where he spent much of his life. He said Kreskin had not been feeling well in recent weeks, otherwise did not provide a cause of death. So the amazing Kreskin, the guy was absolutely incredible. The more I learn about him, his ability, he was just absolutely, staggering and just kind of jaw-dropping. So he has passed away at the age of 89. Tiger Woods competing for the first time since back surgery 3 months ago. The PGA Tour announced that on Tuesday of this week. Woods and his son, Charlie, participating at the PNC Championship in Orlando next week. So this will be the 5th time that Team Woods will play at the competition. And Tiger Woods said, I'm very excited to head back to the PNC Championship next week with Charlie. Playing together is something we look forward to, and it's always more special when you're surrounded by friends and family. Yeah, isn't that right? Absolutely right. Wisconsin, man, this is a wild story. This Wisconsin guy faked his own death, left his wife and 4 children behind. He wanted to be with a woman in Eastern Europe. So he leaves the country, going to Eastern Europe. And now he is returned to the United States and is in jail. Ryan Borgwart was returned to the United States on Tuesday, charged with misdemeanor obstruction of justice because there was an extensive search for him. And authorities saying he got on an airplane, landed in the United States. That's how he returned himself. Not a lot of additional information at this point. Also, inflation rose 2.7% in November, pretty much in line with expectations. So the Labor Department said the consumer price index rose 0.3% in November and ticking up to 2.7% on an annual basis. Also, Donald Trump said he would expedite the approval of permits to anyone who invests $1 billion or more in the United States. He said on True Social, any person or company investing $1 billion or more in the U.S. will receive fully expedited approvals and permits, including, but in no way limited to, all environmental approvals. And this has got environmentalists just up in arms. They are not happy about it. Also, Donald Trump has announced this week that he will pick a current member of the Federal Trade Commission to actually lead the Federal Trade Commission. So Andrew Ferguson is Donald Trump's choice then to run the FTC. Also, President Joe Biden this week announced plans that he would veto a bipartisan bill that would add 66 federal judgeships. And he was concerned about the timing and the motivations for the legislation that was brought. So he says he will veto this bipartisan bill. Also, there is a missing woman who, this is a woman from Hawaii. So a month after her family reported her missing in Los Angeles, her family now is saying they have made contact with her, and they're not sharing a lot of other details for her safety, but they made contact with her, and apparently all is well. And that's a look at the stories trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. 6:57, mostly cloudy in 3. This hour of the Greg Belfrage Show brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
World comes at you pretty fast.
Well, thanks so much for being here. It's great to have you along. Senator Mike Rounds coming up on the program a little bit later this morning. He'll join me today at 8:05, and I hope you'll join me for the 4th hour at 9:30 this morning. So take care. Hope to see you again soon, my friend.
Whether you're looking for ag, construction, or fleet